Good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening. Welcome to the Pivotal Podspective, the show where we are getting extraordinaires. We're on a quest to get as many extraordinaires on the show to help us all pivot, and we can learn things from everybody. So it may be something they've done in their past, maybe something they do now. It may be something they help their clients or their customers or their friends, relatives. Who knows who they help, but they're here to help us. Aren't they, Adrian?
Yes, exactly. They are Elliot. And hello to everyone.
Hi, everybody. My name's
hello
Elliot
to you
Brown.
as well.
Oh,
yeah, so hi.
I'm joking. My name's Elliot Brown, your host, and of course, my wonderful co-host,
Adrian Derbantu.
And we are hoping you all have had a great day and are looking forward to what is set to be an incredibly interesting show with our guest extraordinaires this evening. If you're watching this for the first time, then thank you very much for joining us. And if you are, then let us know you're watching live by putting #live, maybe giving us some love hearts, giving us some thumbs up. We're across multiple profiles on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitter as well. So whatever you want to do, if you want to get involved in the show, drop some comments below, ask some questions, or let us know where you're watching from. If you're watching this on a replay, maybe tomorrow, or well, you won't know it's tomorrow because it's today for you, then put #replay and let us know where you're watching from. So our guest this evening, Adrian, who do we have lined up for this evening?
So we have a great magician and a great PR lady, right? PR, media coach, presenter, speaker, magician as well. It's going to be a very interesting show. Yeah, but I'm just going to let you introduce Miss Queen.
Yes, so it's Queen Chioma Nworgu, and I'm pleased that I actually pronounced the name right, because if you've been watching this show for a while, you'll know that I don't always get that right, and I do apologize to anybody in advance, so that's covered me for future, right? Well, she is a PR and media expert. She's a presenter. She's been on TV over 150 times on all sorts of different shows. She's been on the news. She's been on shows. I think she's been on, it wasn't Come Dine With Me. It was Dinner Date as well. So I'm going to be finding out about that. That's an interesting one. And it's a great show, very entertaining. She's a larger than life person, and she's there to help business women as well as obviously us guys as well. Let's not be too sexist here. But she's there to help everybody in all sorts of ways. And she's an international motivational speaker too. So she wears many, many hats, but they all come together to help everybody. She really does like to pay it forward. And other guests, of course, other guest extraordinaire.
It's Mr. Angus Baskerville, who is a semi-professional magician and motivational speaker who combines magic with his journey overcoming Asperger's and ADHD. He's also passionate about sharing his story from the heart to make the world a better place for those who are differently abled, so that they can access the right support in school and in the workplace to reach their potential, their full potential. So I think without any further introduction, we should just bring on the guests.
Let's do that. Hey.
Hello, guys.
Hello. Hi, guys. How you doing, Angus? You can hear us all right?
Yeah.
Good. So, guys, thanks very much for joining us. Queen, whereabouts are you joining us from?
Thank you so much for having me, Elliot, Adrian. Hi, Angus. Hello to all of you watching.
Hello.
I'm in London
nice
right
to
now.
meet you, thank you, Elliot, for having me.
Oh. we got a slight delay here, but as we say, we're a renegade show. We just carry on. Queen, whereabouts are you? You originate from Southampton. You're in Southampton now.
So yeah, I'm originally from Southampton. I'm in London right now. So I've been living in London for over 29 years.
Ah, okay.
But I do go back to Southampton often.
I was born in Southampton, actually, believe it or not. Although I left there when I was 2 years old. So again, I've been away for a few years.
Both Southamptons.
and Angus, whereabouts are you?
Brilliant.
We've definitely got a connection issue here. Angus, whereabouts are you from this evening? Yeah, we're not getting anywhere there. Can you hear us, Angus? No, I think we must have frozen. We must have frozen. Well, listen, we're going to carry on. Maybe we need to take Angus off and maybe back on again. Would that be worth doing?
We can try, but I think he needs to hear that and he needs to disconnect and reconnect again.
Yeah. Angus, if you can hear us, disconnect and maybe rejoin the show. We'll wait for that to catch up. I think he might have a bit of a lag. Listen, Queen, we'll carry on and have a chat. Listen, you are a PR and media coach. I mean, listen, that's a great title, and you love presenting. You're larger than life. You've been on TV numerous times. What is it that you love about PR and media? Because that's, as I said to you before we start recording, it's a bit of a grey area when you talk about it. And you want to get some information on this side, right?
Yeah, 100%. Thank you so much once again. I think what I really love about PR and media is it just gives you, it's honestly like, if you think of a SWOT analysis, there's the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. And it's just one of the biggest opportunities, PR media. It's just more reach, more visibility, more connection, more collaboration. And I think just having the chance to share your message on different platforms, whether it's TV, radio, podcasts, magazines, newspapers, it's just a phenomenal opportunity that I just can't believe that, like you said, it is a great area because it's so powerful.
Yeah. It is. I mean, listen, there's so many easy ways to get yourself out there. This is a great way to get yourself out there to start off with, for sure. But you've been on TV at numerous times and the news and things like that. How the hell did you get yourself on there, Queen? How'd you do that?
Do you know what? It's so crazy. Honestly, when I was 8 years old, it happened when I was 8. I was in school one day. The BBC just ended up coming to my school. They wanted us to talk about the Queen. They came up to me. I was like, okay, I'll talk about the Queen. And then my aunties told me that, oh my gosh, you're on TV. I'm so proud of you. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was on TV. And so from there, it jumped all the way to a program called Is She MTV when I was 19. And then, so I went for an audition. And I think at first I sort of messed around a little bit. But then the next time, because they gave me a second shot, I went back and I was like, I'm going to do well this time. And I really rehearsed and prepared. And I think once I had a little bit of the buzz of being on TV, I remember my mum once saying to us, why are you watching people on TV? You should be on TV. So I think I just started to take it seriously from that point onwards. And I think X Factor and shows like Britain's Got Talent really helped. So I would apply for castings, auditions. And then when I was basically asked to move to Cyprus and join a girl band, I think that was another epiphany for me. It was like, oh, wow, if I don't go, it's not bad, but I do have to take it seriously to actively seek opportunities. That was one of the things I was told. And so I was like going for it with pitching and everything. And I think once I got into Miss Great Britain, when I started competing in pageants, I was in OK Magazine immediately. I think I started to notice a pattern. I started to notice there's something there. And then when I worked at Selfridges, I kept having celebrities look at me or talk to me or say something to me. Because, you know, when you work in Selfridges, a lot of celebrities go,
yeah, of course,
yeah. So I think I started to take it as a sign that something's trying to tell me that I'm meant to be in the media. And I put all the dots together and then I just started to go for it. And half of it came to me and some of it people put me forward for and some of it I did the pitching. So it was just a combination of luck, determination, and just going for opportunities.
It's not just luck, Queen. You make these things happen. You make your own luck, don't you? You put yourself in those positions to be there. It was, you know, whether you realized it or not, the subconscious was putting you in those positions. Not being funny, if you're going to work in Selfridges in beauty departments or whatever, wherever you're working, you know that those people are going to be coming in shopping. So, you know, you're putting yourself in front of as many people as you can. That's another stage, isn't it?
100%, you know, and I think it's about your attitude as well. Put yourself out there, but however you act is going to determine whether people want to have you on their shows or collaborate with you or recommend you and feature you. So I think, like you said, when I was there in Selfridges, I had to use my opportunity to connect in such a subtle, nice way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're not selling, are you? You're not selling anything at that stage, are you? Apart from products, maybe.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
Sorry, Adrian, were you going to say something?
No. I was just listening and I just laughed to the product. So that was good, yeah.
Talking about being on stage, something that you're used to doing. I'm assuming you can hear us now, Angus, right?
Yes. When we connect, it seems to work fine now, which is good. So yeah.
Yeah, good.
Cool.
So you've been on stage. You've been on stage for numerous things. I know that you did Autism's Got Talent many years ago, right? And that was something that give you a bit of a rise to fame for being in that arena and doing your being a magician as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the first time I ever performed magic properly on stage in front of a large audience in the theatre, that was Autism's Got Talent for the first time, and that gave me a massive confidence boost. And yeah, from there I've been doing numerous stage events with more confidence since. And yeah, other events I've done since then. I did Autism's Got Talent Roadshow on from that, and then did it again a year later. At Autism's Got Talent, which was good. And then other than that, I've done things on stage such as Ventnor Fringe Festival, and I've done my own show as well at a coffee place in Leamington, where I hired out the venue to do my own stage show. So I have done numerous stage events since Autism Got Talent, but that's where the whole thing started. Yeah,
and I'm going to quickly ask you, if you don't mind, because I've heard about the evening that you did that act, and I believe that actually that helped to control some of your autistic sort of ways, right? That sort of that was you when you do your magician work, and you're sort of almost doing what you're doing now. It's a way of you actually channeling to be able to be able to do what you do best.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, before I got into magic and socializing, having confidence to, talk to people, especially like standing in front of a stage and that sort of thing, that definitely wasn't in any way, shape or form my strong point. But from doing magic and from doing events and that sort of thing, that definitely improved my ability to do that and improved my self-confidence, as I mentioned. And yeah, I have without a doubt got much better at it through doing magic, definitely.
Yeah, great. I mean, I find it incredible that people with ADHD or autism or even Tourette's and things like that, when the concentration is there and you concentrate on a particular thing, whether it be singing or acting or whatever, it's amazing how you can channel that and somehow the mind takes over those other challenges it has. I'm trying to be diplomatic here because I might not use the right terminology, and I'm hoping not offending anybody. I know I'm not offending you, Angus.
Not at all.
But I find it incredible. Isn't it an incredible thing? Queen, have you ever worked with anybody like that's got sort of any sort of challenges, so to speak?
Yes, definitely. I basically used to raise a lot of money for Rainbow Child Foundation, and also for Alzheimer's charity as well.
Right.
So I meet a lot of like the different people from the charity, and some of them would come up to me and say, thank you for helping us to raise all this money. And it was just so powerful because you could see the impact that you were making. Also, I used to work in a college and worked in nursery. So I got to work with a lot of children and young people that had disabilities too. And like you said, I mean, the amazing things you see them achieve, you're always blown away. You're like, oh my God, you're so amazing. And so I think it's just a joy to be able to have so many people that do care about people from different backgrounds.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
go on.
I just want to say, guys, that I never really met anyone with autism. Maybe with ADHD, I've met a few people, but I haven't recognized that at that point. And with Asperger or Tourette's. But in Romania, basically about 2-3 weeks ago, there is a talent show called iHumor, right? Where there are lots of people that come and try to be funny over there, including from UK and stuff like that.
They try to be funny, right?
Yeah, some of them they are, some of them they aren't. But a guy came with the Tourette syndrome, right? And he was just amazing, right? The way he did a stand-up comedy actor, right? And putting the Tourette syndrome in there, it was just quite funny. But it was a bit sad as well because he said during school, all his teachers and everyone just kind of looked at him in a different way, and he was even kicked out of school because some of the teachers were not really trained with what Tourette really means, and he actually thought that his words are them on purpose, even though that wasn't the case.
How old do you reckon he was, by the way?
Now he's just about 20, something like that. So he's very young. But since then, because the jury at the iHumor, the guys there, they were very nice with them, and they took everything serious. And he said, "You really have a talent over here." It just became like a national phenomenon in Romania, to be honest. So everyone watching him, his YouTube channel grew massively and all that. So it just kind of shows that sometimes, if you have some of these issues, it's just because you don't necessarily have to feel very frustrated. It's because maybe you're not with the right people to guide you where you're supposed to go, where you're help you with who you're supposed to be, and that's very, very important.
Hey, listen, I think very wrongly for many years, because I think humans are quite prejudiced, and because of ignorance, that these things were classed as a disability many years ago. And I'm sure that Angus probably, would have experienced that in his earlier years. Listen, I don't. I think it's an ability. There is an ability there. There's talent in everybody. But I think that if you can find and channel certain talents, doesn't matter whatever your challenges may well be, disability wise, whether it's physical or whether it's mental or whatever those are. Everybody has that power. And I think, having people that are motivational in different areas, Queen, you work, with all sorts of different people, women entrepreneurs and people with challenges, and Angus, very much on the autism side and working as an advocate for the charities. And I know that you work with charities as well, Queen. Well, having people like yourselves that you can look up to that are just going to give real world advice. And I think that's great. We want more people like that in the world that can help out, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
Loads, definitely helps loads.
Yeah. So Angus, I mean, you've been this year challenging as in many different ways. But have you still been managing to do some magic and still get doing some work as well?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I've learned a lot about doing online gigs. I've done some virtual gigs.
Oh, perfect.
I've done some distance gigs as well, where people have had me do stand-up shows for them at the front of their drive, so it enabled social distancing.
Oh, cool.
And I've actually got my first gig tomorrow, actually, since the beginning of lockdown, as in proper gig.
Oh, right, perfect.
Which is a really good sign. But no, as well, other than doing gigs, obviously I've not been anywhere near as busy this year as I would have been had it not been for COVID. But it's given me a lot of time to really build on some new magic skills, learn some new magic material, and practice lots for when it all opens up again, which has been great. And I have been doing other work as well, such as starting to write blogs and I've written a book as well about my life growing up with ADHD and autism, which I'm hoping to get published soon. So managed to get all that done through lockdown. So it's not just magic I've been able to work on. Other businesses in the autism awareness and community I've been able to work a lot on as well through lockdown.
Oh, good. So you've managed to pivot and find other things to do. Use your time wisely. Are you going to show us any magic tonight?
Yeah. I mean, I've got did bring along a deck of cards where I can show you.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. Oh, good. Well, I look forward to. We're definitely going to check that out in a little while.
I just wanted to ask, Angus, if when everything goes back to normal, do you think you're going to
go back to normal, dude?
Well, back
the new
to
normal.
Is when everything's gonna open again and have loads of gigs, and you gonna focus more on the online stuff, or you gonna keep it more to the personal? Well, I don't know, physical stuff, real stuff.
Keep it more to the personal stuff. Hopefully.
Yeah. And Queen, I mean, how being a presenter and things, you're used to doing stuff on screen and doing these bits and pieces. What have you done to pivot this year? How have you coped with things? What are you doing to change what you do, or has it not really changed for you? Who knows?
Oh my gosh, such a good question. I think the truth is, it's definitely I'm an extrovert, so as much as I have had to learn to be an introvert in some ways, I love being out there. Like what Angus was saying. He was saying that it's that, in a way, the personal connections, that personal touch, and I just love being out there. So I found last year I was like in Dubai, and then I was in Bulgaria, and I was all across the UK going to do little speaking gigs and stuff like that. And then now it's like stuck on the screen, over and over. But the good news is there are a lot of amazing virtual opportunities that I was able to leverage. So some summits and conferences. So I definitely want to continue doing more of the same, but I still love personal touch. I love the idea of just, even if it's like 10 women in a room or a seminar with, a mixed audience, I just love meeting people in real life. And I feel like there's nothing that compares with real life connections.
Yeah. You get a feeling from people, don't you? I mean, listen, we can do after we start getting to know one another on a screen. Of course you can, but there's definitely a difference to standing up on a stage or in front of people and getting that, I don't know. There's like the spirit is more apparent, isn't it, when you're actually with people than through a screen, for sure. And I think we all thrive on that, don't we? Adrian, do you thrive on that? I mean, this is doing these things has been quite a new thing for you, hasn't it? But you haven't really, have you spoken on stage much and things over the years?
Not that much. Probably about, I don't know, about 5 times in my life, not more than that. But to be honest, I've started to enjoy it.
You
more
have?
every time when I've done it, yeah. But probably because I don't have such a good, or I don't have that much experience in that field, I'm not sure exactly how it really feels to do it properly, all right?
Yeah.
I'm feeling comfortable with the online stuff as well, you know. And like you said, it's quite multicultural as well. You go in loads of countries sometimes, you know, when you do it online, loads of people from different places. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're always international because you're in Romania and I'm in the UK. So where our guests are, we all happen to be in the UK today. You're the foreigner today, actually, my friend.
Yeah, I'm the minority.
So right, okay, let's get down to some juicy stuff, right? I'm going to ask you, Queen. At the moment, what's the best form of PR right now out of everything that you're aware of? Is there anything that stands out above everything else?
I think now, just because of COVID-19, it's definitely summits. I think summits have just gone to a whole nother level. It's unbelievable. I definitely think podcasts. I mean, it's not considered to be media in the media books, and
soft media, we like to class it as. Yeah.
I can't believe it. I call it the same thing. So I'm like, oh my goodness. When I actually studied media studies and mass communications. I never thought that podcasts would be a thing. It's definitely, I think it's huge. I mean, there's over 1 million podcasts now on iTunes, on Apple Podcasts. So it's a big, big thing. I mean, I think it's just amazing to leverage that platform. But I think there's nothing like television, and I think magazines, being in a magazine or on TV, they're just so big, because you can even be on TV virtually. So you can be in your house, wearing your pajamas down below and at the top, and you can be on TV. And even platforms like this, where you're like on a podcast, but you're also on radio, but at the same time it's like TV. It's a combination. So I think people need to, or entrepreneurs especially, consider the options and go for it, whether it's virtually or in person, when everything goes back to normal.
Yeah. But so would you say that this is, I mean, obviously this format is great because it goes across, you know, multiple profiles and platforms and things like that. And as you said, it's a combination of audio and video, and, you know, the best forms to get yourself out there for social and digitally, I suppose. But getting on TV, you said, that's not the easiest thing to get on, though, is it?
I think, do you know what I think it is? I think it is when it comes to your local TV channel.
Okay.
They're going to give you that moment, like that, even if it's that 3 minutes of fame, or 15 minutes as they like to call it, they really will. I mean, when I didn't have nothing under my belt. I had about 29 Twitter followers, and I reached out to my local TV channel, and also there were like ones on Sky, loads on Sky, and they're just small local channels that you can get onto.
Really?
If you just reach out, just make that phone call, they will respond, especially if you have some form of news. So a bit like what you were saying before, you need to really consider what's your story or your message, or why is there an urgency? So if you're launching a book, or if there's an event coming up, especially a local one, you finished university, something that makes sense for them to put you on TV for that little 3 minutes, or whether it's the full-on 15 minutes or 45. If you're a performer, entrepreneurs are good catches for the media. So there's really no excuse. But I think if you don't build that relationship with the media sources in your local city, then that alone is going to stop people from being on TV. So I think just build that relationship. And also with castings and auditions, I know it's about finding out where those castings and auditions are, but if you can apply through that, like through something like Star Now, Talent Talks, there are different agencies, casting agencies. Some of them are free. Just join online, and then you have access where they're actually advertising these TV opportunities to be on shows and programs.
Oh, okay. Angus, have you been on TV?
Well, I've been on the Chrissy B show, where with Anna Kennedy Online, where I performed some magic and spoke about it. And yeah, at the moment, that's as far as I've done. I've done like radio interviews as well, but in terms of being on actual TV, the most I've done is the Chrissy B show.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, fine. And how did you get on there? Was that through a PR agent or something like that?
Well, once again, it was through Anna Kennedy online, and because
so it's through Anna Kennedy, right? Okay.
Yeah, she was asked to go on the Chrissy B show, and obviously she built a relationship with them, and she was taking participants from Autism's Got Talent, and I was one of the people she chose, which was really great. And yeah, it was a big opportunity. It was nice of her to invite me on the show, and yeah, it was an amazing experience. That was so yeah.
Interesting. So getting on local TV. Now, so I go, Adrian, are you going to get on your local TV now? Because I tell you what, I'm going to be hitting it. That's for sure.
I don't think I have one. That's why I
have a local.
I need to look to see if I have one over here.
Local TV. There's got to be local TV to you somewhere. You're in a big city. You're in like one of the bigger cities.
Yeah. There is something, but they still film with a potato camera. But yeah, I was thinking.
Potato camera.
What about in Essex? There is any local TV over there?
Well, yeah, no, you can't class Essex TV as a local TV channel. It's like it's like an online TV. But I suppose there will be regional. There'll be regional. There must be regional pros. I'm going to have a chat with you, Queen. We're going to have a chat after the show. I'm going to figure out who the hell to contact. I've never really considered it. To be fair, it's not like I thought I was going to get on TV. I sort of think this is the sort of format and that works for us at the moment. But
I'm curious why you haven't considered. Be honest.
Why haven't I? I mean, the only time I have is on Facebook. There's numerous let's say agents, aren't there, that work for Dinner Date or people like that. You know, they work for a lot of these shows, don't they? And they're always looking for people. So I've actually answered a couple of those. In fact, I did at the beginning of the year because I thought that might help. So I had considered it, really. I'm telling you, small porky. But of course, then COVID happened and they started pulling all these shows. In fact, what's the shopping one that Dale Winton used to do? What was that called?
I have no idea. Honestly,
what was the shopping show that where you run around with a shopping trolley?
Supermarket sweep.
Supermarket sweep.
Oh, yeah.
Now, yeah, so supermarket sweep. They were looking for people for that because oh God, I can't remember his name. He used to present Big Brother. He started presenting it, didn't he? He's an Essex boy. Do you know who I'm talking about? No, getting blank faces. No, getting blank faces.
Not international enough, but yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So I had sort of looked at it and I had applied for that, but it didn't really happen. But anyway, listen, that's by the by. It's not about me. But I'm going to look again on television. So if anybody's there and then wants to get me on TV, I'm your man.
Yeah. And hello, Elliot's mom. Yeah, please, if you can share some stories, since Elliot was a child and they will make a good TV story. You're more than welcome to do that. We would be quite happy.
Yeah. Thanks for that. I didn't disappear because I was being rude, guys. I was going to lose power on my my computer, so I had to plug it in. So
yeah, say hello to your mum then, Elliot.
Hi, mum. Big love to you, mum. Obviously, she's always says hello, and she's our biggest fan. And Hakel, what's Hakel going on about?
Says, where is Elon Musk? Well, Hakel, we don't really have. Well, Elon Musk is quite busy now, so we're trying to source his Russian brother, all right, to bring him on the show. It's a bit difficult now because we found someone that is still drunk, so we have to work on that. Okay.
Listen, guys, if you've got any questions you would like to ask our guest extraordinaires, then feel free to drop in a comment and say. And if you're watching live, put #live as well. We're always looking for engagement on the show. We love to get the questions in. So TV then, right? That's the way forward.
Okay,
we're off.
What about the magazines then? Yeah, what about the magazines, Queen? How do we get over there?
Yeah, magazines, Queen. Is this still a big thing? Is it magazines? I mean, are they? Is it still a big area for PR? Is it useful?
I think it really is. I mean, it's so interesting because there are a lot of online magazines now and smaller ones. I guess it's probably harder to get into magazines than it is to be on TV, realistically speaking. And it doesn't sound like that. But I think there's always something to start with. I remember when I was just in my local.
It's all right. Don't worry, Angus. Yeah, it's okay.
I remember I was on my intranet. You know, like the work intranet back in those days.
Yeah.
I started with that. It was just this paper that they printed, and they were like, they featured me, and I think that was the stepping stone to the magazine. So sometimes you just need that first article or that first publication or something. You could start with an online platform, and then from there, it's like, as long as you keep on building and having that next thing, then you can submit it to a magazine and say, oh, I've been featured here and featured there. and then it's almost like it just continues to snowball or just skyrocket from there.
Thing went down.
So yeah, I just think a couple of crappy publications, and then you just go from there.
Just go on from there, just build it up. But it's still a big thing, right? People are still buying magazines, people are still flicking through them, and it's still a good place to get in there. Look, editorials, I suppose, are a good thing for a business, right? I mean, we actually, or Forge Management, powered by Forge Management over there in the top right hand corner on your screen, guys, as our big sponsor is, and they won an award recently, which there was an editorial done for that. So that's a good way of sort of getting yourself out there, right?
Definitely, yeah. Especially like you said, when you win an award, it's such a big thing. Like if you're starting your business, you can be in the media. If you win an award, you can be in the media. If you have an anniversary, something like, they love things like that. But you know, I think there's this platform called Issue. I'll probably send the link after. They have tons of magazines on that platform. They're all online magazines, but they're like thousands, probably hundreds or thousands. And there's loads of business ones there. So you could even start with that platform and then just find a few to pitch to, and then from there.
And it gives you some good content to use on social, right? It gives you something to actually talk about, you know, because that's one of the biggest things I find with when you're talking to clients about how they get themselves out there, or you're talking to anybody, you know, just chatting on these shows. What is it you want to talk about? How are you going to get yourself out there? And it makes you think about what you need to say and what you need to do to get out there. And otherwise, all you're doing is bastardizing somebody else's, posts or images or copywriting to try and, be noticed. And, it's a noisy world. So if you've got something that's a publication, then of course you can direct something over to there. And generally, if it's in a magazine, there's an online version of it. So you can point people to a link on there as well, right? That's got to be some pretty easy PR you can do yourself at home.
100%, definitely. And I think the most important thing, just to throw in a quick tip.
Yeah.
The thing that's missing with most people is they don't gather it somewhere. So they don't have, for example, a media kit or a media page.
Yeah.
And so it's just scattered all over this on the internet. So they've been on TV here, but the link's there, and then they've been on this, and it's just all scattered. So if you could just put it all in one place, it just increases your chances of being in the media just that by 10 times more. And then the media kit another 10 times, and then so it's just because they look at these things. They're looking for media reels, they're looking for media kits, looking for media pages. So the journalists, the reporters, the TV anchors. I mean, when I used to work on television, that's what I was doing. Sorry.
They've got somewhere to go, somewhere to look at it. Yeah. Yeah,
because they're searching for these things, and when they find them, they'll reach out.
I think that's a really good tip, and it's something that we haven't done with this show. And I think it's in fact we haven't had a few guests on. Of course, you sent a media kit, didn't you, Queen? You would do. And if you hadn't done, I'd be highly disappointed, I suppose. But I think it is absolutely right. Angus, have you ever created yourself a sort of media kit?
No, I haven't actually. I mean, I've always been interested in like doing stuff online, but in terms of like the media sort of thing, it hasn't actually been something I've put that much effort focused on lately. I've been more focused on like doing the usual close-up stuff, and obviously I've been creating things on my own website and stuff like that for my magic business, but my own media kit hasn't been something I've looked into that much lately.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, I've definitely seen a lot of people over the last 4, 5, 6 months. More people doing podcasts and actually sending media kits over. And I'm not being funny. It's a really good way of doing it, because I mean, we do it by the question and answer thing. We like to get a bit of a thing. It's not because we're going to ask the questions on air, as you both know. That's not how it works. But we like to get a bit of an idea, and that's because we want to get an idea about you and just how you answer it. But also get a media kit. Listen, they're pretty, they're glossy. It's some images on there that is bullet pointed. It's a very easy way of you getting a feel for somebody if you don't know them. And often people are lazy; they don't want to go and do some research, do they? So it's a good way of sort of getting that out there. And I think you're absolutely right. If you have a website about what you do, then I suppose having a tab that has got a media kit in there, it would be quite a good idea. If you're creating it, you may as well stick it on your website as well. Would you recommend doing that, Queen?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I kind of make all my clients, I'm like, this is a non-negotiable. But the thing I would say is I checked out Angus's website, and I must admit, what I saw was so impressive. I think your information is also important. Like when you've just achieved so many things and done so many things, it's almost like you instantly become attracted to the media. So
Yeah.
I think sometimes people sell themselves a bit short. Oh no, honestly, it was really impressive. I just wanted to book you immediately. Like, wow, it's really impressive. Great profile.
That's great. Thank you very much. No, thank you.
So welcome.
I'm really glad to hear that.
So
Yeah,
I looked at your work. I looked at your work as well, Queen, and I mean, I was very impressed by what you did as well.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
So I think,
You're welcome. Thank
look,
you.
Angus, yeah, I think Queen is gonna make you a media kit, and you, Angus, you're gonna go to one of Queen's parties or where she go a gig, you know, something like that, and you're gonna do some magic tricks over there. What do you say about that, guys?
Yeah, definitely be more than happy to. It'd be great to work together.
Hey, listen,
Yeah, I'll help you in any way I can.
we're good at linking people on this show, but yeah, I definitely think a media kit was good. So, you know, one thing to definitely take from this show, guys, is get a media kit together, particularly if you're into podcasting. And we know that a lot of podcasts watch podcasts and watch the shows, and we're going to be creating one for sure. And maybe what we'll do is maybe we'll post some tips about how to, you know, an easy maybe step-by-step guide with Queen to help us out with maybe doing something like that. I think it'd be a great thing to do. I think it's a great thing to do for many, many people. And because this is our format, we like this sort of platform, I think it'd be really good to help some of the people that are watching and listening to do that. So maybe we'll put some, give it a look out on our social over the coming weeks. And I think we should put something together. I think that'd help a lot of people in the modern world, don't you?
Definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
I think you'd be a great PR for Queen. Yeah, would be quite good.
I'm happy to help in any way I can. You don't like, it's so funny because this is like my mission. It's like, I'm going to help as many people as I can. So it's just like, you're just helping me any way that I can help, like 10 more people or 100 more people, because I feel like there's so much publicity waiting for every one of us. But if we don't have those right, if we're not positioned well, we lose out. So,
yeah.
And it can be life-changing as well, some of these opportunities.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Adrian, we'll get to work on that, and for our audience, I think it'd be quite good. And yeah, I think it's a really cool. I'm actually quite excited about it, to be fair, because it's creative as well. So I can already envision certain things. That it's just the content is always my issue with those, and I think I guarantee you for probably a lot of the creative people out there in our audience that they could probably got a really nice idea of making it look nice. But it's the content, and I don't think it needs to be overcomplicated, does it? Really, you just need to put those in. It's like websites. Let's face it. We always, think as we overcomplicate and overthink what needs to be put on them. But there's simpler with ramming home the right information. Has got to be some of the best PR you can do for yourself for sure. In essence, that's also a media pack as well if you do it right. Angus, so you prepared something to do a little bit of magic for us, have you?
Yeah, the audience is asking for it. So yeah.
Go on then. What have you got for us? I'm intrigued.
Cool. Yeah, I brought along a deck of cards with me. I mean, a lot of people say you're limited to the amount of things you can do online with cards, but you know, if you think about it, there's actually a wide range of different things you can do, and many ways you can adapt it so that you can make it work online rather than in person. I mean, start by showing you they're all different if you all stay focused. I'm going to shuffle the cards at first. Now, all I'm going to need one of you to do is just say stop as I riffle down the pack. Say stop.
Stop.
Stop right here. Okay, I'm not going to look. I just want you to remember this card. Can you tell me if you can see
move it to your left a little bit. The other way. Go on. No, the other way. The other way. That's it. Yeah. Oh, I like that one.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
Perfect. Right, now we're going to bury it inside the pack, okay? Going to cut the deck up. Do that in the shuffle. Perfect. Is that fair enough?
Yeah, that's fine. We're good with that.
Okay, perfect. Now, to start with, I'm just going to ask you to say stop one more time, and you're going to stop me at an individual card. Hopefully, that should be your card. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, say stop.
Stop.
Stop right here. Okay, stop me at this card, the 3 of spades. I believe this was your card. Was your card the 3 of spades?
No.
Okay, well, watch this. If I give it a bit of a gentle shake, you might notice it changes into the 8 of clubs.
Very good.
Gosh.
There you go. Thank you.
Very good. I'm not being funny, but I can't even get my head around that. How the hell did you do that? I've no idea.
Yeah,
Look at Queen. She's like, what? How did you do that?
Yeah, you should have chosen the Queen of Hearts.
Yeah, that is a very good true. I like that.
Thank you very much. I'm glad it worked out actually. Better than I expected.
Oh, thanks, Angus. That was very good. I'm impressed. Very impressed. Listen, I love a bit of magic. Who doesn't love a bit of magic, eh?
I think everyone, and we need magic in our lives. So yeah, definitely.
We absolutely do. We absolutely do. Queen, do you like a bit of magic? I like a bit of sleight of hand, which I suppose is not going to be quite so easy these days. When you go for a meal or you go to an event and you get the magician come around to the table, sleight of hand is going to be a little bit more difficult now, Angus, isn't it? It's actually probably easier to do it on a screen. Queen, you must have done some events over time and done motivational talk. Have you had it where you've got a magician going around to tables when they're doing at the same time in front of you? Have you ever done an event like that?
Oh my goodness! Do you know what? I think Angus has really been the one to give me my first experience. I've seen it on TV.
Yeah,
I've seen it on TV so many times, but I have never seen it in real life. And do you know what? No, never. And I used to compete in talent shows all the time. So I used to always go to talent shows and I would sing and then everyone else would do different things, dance.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it never came my way, but I remember watching, I don't know, funny enough, it was so different. I remember watching on TV, it was like a Christian channel, but for some reason they were using like magic tricks to sort of like talking about the gospel, which was quite interesting.
Okay, different way of doing things.
That was my sort of way of, TV. It seems to be just TV for some reason. But I think Agnes has now finally, been the first one to show me something. So yeah, but I think it's really. I just always wonder how they do it. I'm always like, how?
Yeah, that's what we're all intrigued. Can you do any magic, Adrian?
I can disappear off the screen and reappear. That's quite the only magic I can do.
Yeah,
usually I do a bit of magic when I spy people and they don't know how I've done it. So yeah, I would say that's my magic.
Hey,
right?
Listen, you're a digital magician where you can create magic through the power of digital marketing, right?
Yeah, like last night I had a discussion with someone. No, sorry, 2 nights ago, and they said to me, "Yeah, so can we book a meeting?" Yes, yeah, can we book a meeting? Is this your right email address? Well, basically, Elliot knows about it. It was the Billericay dental person, and I just get on a podcast. I took the email address. I said this. I said, how the hell do you know my email address? Well, that's just magic, mate. It was just something different.
So, Queen, what is your next event where you actually are standing up? I mean, Angus says he's got one tomorrow. So, have you got an event coming up where you're standing up in front of people again? Have you got things sort of sorted?
Oh my God. You know what? I think the next thing I have is still virtual. So I have something on Saturday where I'm going to be speaking in an online seminar. So that will be really good. I think, I have got an event that I'm hosting, which is meant to be my first live small event that I've done for a long time. I booked it and everything, but unfortunately, because of COVID-19, it's been left, I have a credit note waiting for me for when I'm ready to do it. So I'm looking forward to hosting that event. But I think I've literally had nothing booked, but every year I go to Bulgaria in June. So if nothing happens between now and if nothing changes, I hope by then that would at least be something I can do, because I love speaking in Bulgaria. It's like a few days of speaking and I just think it's so amazing. But if things start to go back to normal, I am going to start to make those phone calls and send emails and get myself booked for a few different things for sure.
Listen. Let's not keep saying back to normal. This is the new normal. We're looking forward to the new normal. It's all changed. I'm excited. I'm intrigued by the changes. We're not going to go back. We're going to go forward. So listen, motivationally wise, you're both motivational speakers in your own fields. What is the one thing? Give us one thing, Queen, that you find it really does help to motivate people. What is the one thing that you say, that you do, that sort of makes you stand aside for others about being motivational and helping people to level themselves up?
Yeah, your motivational signature.
Yeah, I like that.
Yes. I mean, I think one of the things that just never fails is affirmations. So I think for you, like vocally saying things that reprogram your mind, it's so important. Physically, I think obviously exercise is a really good one for the physical motivation. But what helps your mind, I think your own words are the key. I mean, anyone can say things to you that you're not good enough, you're this, you're that, you're the other. But if you can program your mind for success and constantly say things like, I'm successful, I'm going to make it, I can do it, I'm destined for greatness, or whatever it would be, you're definitely going to succeed. Even if you don't, like, because if you don't, you're going to hear these mundane thoughts in your mind, just these very low vibe, low level thoughts, and they'll just be keeping you at that lower level. But the more your thoughts come up higher and bigger, and plus you're putting energy into it, so you're like saying it with passion and enthusiasm. It never fails. You'll say it and you'll think it's silly at first, but then eventually you'll feel so good, and then you want to do it again and again. And I think that it changes your mind, and once your mind is convinced that you can do these things, you will do it. So I definitely think it's a superpower.
Yeah, definitely.
Affirmation. I like that. And Angus, what do you do to sort of motivate people when you're speaking or you're helping people out? What is it sort of the one thing that you sort of find works really well?
Well, I mean, I talk a lot about my magic, because magic is what actually helped me with day-to-day stuff, such as socializing, making friends, and getting better at dealing with things that might be a bit hard out there originally, such as I was quite sensitive to things like noise, tactile, defensive, etc. From learning magic and doing it to people. Obviously, it helped me improve in many ways due to that, and also helped me be able to socialize better with people. And as a result, I was able to make friends and start meeting up with people more, rather than feeling very isolated a lot of the time. So I obviously explain a lot in my talks how that really helps me. And to get the message across that there's no mistakes, there's just learning and helping inspire parents that their child can actually develop so much once they embrace their passion. And it doesn't necessarily always have to be something related to career, but if it's something that really puts a smile on their face, and the opportunities that come from that can be absolutely endless. And that's the sort of message I tend to get across, to just make them realise that, their child's not alone. Because a lot of the talks I do is generally to parents who have newly diagnosed children.
Right.
So obviously, as well as explaining,
so they're learning. It's a steep learning curve.
Yeah, about how I grew up with autism and ADHD, talking a lot about that. But it's not just about my experience. It's about how when they expect more of their child than they expect of themselves, they will step up and surprise them, because it's where a very well-known saying comes in, where there's a light at the end of every single tunnel. And that's the message I aim to get across the most, and it has helped loads of people from what I've heard since getting feedback from parents at various conferences. So that's the main message I tend to get across with my motivational speaking that I do.
Yeah, I love that, and I'm not being funny, but that doesn't just stand for people that are that have a loved one or a member of their family with autism. That goes for everybody, right? Having those things.
And autism, it's anyone.
Yeah, finding. Listen, we've spoken about this so much on the show. Finding a passion that somebody has, if you can combine that with something that is going to earn you a living, then great. If it's just a passion that you concentrate on, that's going to give you some sort of sense of fulfillment, some sort of sense of joy, and that you're proud of what you do, that also helps.
I mean, that's the point, really, because my magic for me, I mean, it's not only like helps me improve day-to-day skills and fine motor skills, which obviously come in handy in general and are very important. It's helped giving me a roadmap to employment as well, which all came from finding your passion. And I mean, I know loads of people on the spectrum, and like I said, not just people on the spectrum, people with other learning difficulties, or just just people who are classed as neurotypicals. When they find their passion and really embrace it, opportunities are endless, and they take it in many different ways. They change the person who they are, and it's definitely something that I'd urge parents of autistic children especially to really help their child find, because that it can literally be a massive change in who they are as a person in general, how they think, how they interpret things, how they behave. It can literally change all of that for the better from what I've seen.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. I love that. I mean, that's motivational there. Yeah, just that alone, but for you saying that, it sort of touches me. I've had experience with autism with an ex-partner myself, as you know, Angus, and
Sorry. was it Nicky Adrian?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I remember
that's right. Yeah. So
she speaks a lot about that.
absolutely, yeah. So that it's having that first-hand experience. Until you actually have that experience yourself, it's a very difficult thing to sort of maybe understand. But once you have and you've seen that and you understand it, you can sort of see, as you said, people on the spectrum. I think we're all a little bit on the spectrum. Particularly, I think there's a lot of creatives that definitely have. I definitely have a version of ADHD. I think an adult ADHD version. I think I hate forms. I get really uncomfortable with certain things. And if any of you do. Listen, it's not an issue. Just you have to find your way around it. I mean, my thing would be in business, if there are things that make you feel massively, massively uncomfortable and you just literally cannot do and it floors you, honestly, outsource it. Get it over to somebody else that you could do that with, because if it isn't an ability, don't let it floor you every day in business. Just find someone else that can do that for you, because it will alleviate so much pressure, so much anxiety, that it'll allow you to move forward. And I think there's a lot of us that stand still sometimes in business or in our personal lives because there's things that floor us and we don't want to address it. Well, there's nothing out there in the world that nobody else has experienced. You're not alone. We've all had challenges. Everybody gets challenges every day, and it's just about how you deal with those in different ways. Well, listen, guys. I mean, I've really enjoyed this evening. It's been a very interesting show. It's been very different. Both motivational speakers from two totally different arenas, and I think that's great to get different insights. But let's start off with you, Queen. Whereabouts can everybody find you, Queen Chioma?
Oh, thank you. I've loved being with all of you. I think you've just been so amazing. So much talent here, so much zest. By the way, everyone, make sure you're following, make sure you're supporting this show, because it's just amazing and it's going to keep being bigger and bigger. And so, yeah, you can find me over at queenchomamedia.com. On Instagram and Twitter, it's at Queen Choma. And yeah, I think that's mainly where to find me. There is the She Rises in the Media platform as well, which is the website that my new sort of media platform. It's going to be like something like Huffington Post, but in a more sort of subtle way rather than the sort of journalistic style.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. Huffington Post, that's one we need to be getting into, that's for sure. How big has that grown over the years? And Angus, where can everybody find you?
Yeah, well, on my website, it's www.angusbaskerville.com. On Facebook, it's at Angus Baskerville Magic. Instagram at Angus B Magician. Twitter at Angus Baskerville1. And LinkedIn, Angus Baskerville.
Perfect. Well, great. Well, Adrian has done the honours, of course.
Thanks so much again for having me on the show. It's been great, and really nice to meet you all.
Thank you very much for both. Thank you very much for joining us. And we've dropped the links in, or I say we, it's the royal we. Adrian's dropped the links in, so you can find those on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitter as well. Listen, thank you guys. It's been inspiring. I feel motivated, and things that have touched me and things that I've picked up that I think is going to help us and help us all. So hopefully you've all picked up something that can help you pivot and has motivated you and inspired you, because if that's happened, then we're definitely doing the right things. If there are any questions that you ever want to ask, even if it is on a replay and you're watching this afterwards, then drop me those comments in below. Ask us the questions, because we can make sure that either Queen or Angus gets those, or whoever our guests are can get those questions. Adrian and I have really enjoyed this evening, haven't we, mate?
Definitely. Thank you very much to all of you, including Elliot. So, yeah.
Thanks very much. If you want to know what else is going on Essex Business Radio and the shows that we've got going on, of course, the Pivotal Perspective is one. We are going to be adding some other shows coming soon, which are going to be streaming with some music as well, guys, which we're just sorting out the programming at the moment. We're a month behind, but hey, fuck it. That's what we do. We're going to do it anyway. We're just going to get it out there. So we'll let you know as soon as that is live, so you can listen to that, because I know there's quite a lot of people that are missing the audio podcasts that are going to be soon published from all the shows that we've been doing. There's a lot of people go for an early morning run and want to listen to us. I have no idea why, but they do anyway. But thanks for that. So if you really want that, it's Essex Business Radio on the socials, apart from Twitter. which is Essex Biz, BIZZ Radio. There are podcasts, audio podcasts on Essex Business Radio, which you can find on Spotify and iTunes and all the other places where you get those. And you can download the free app ready for the new stuff that's going to be going on Essex Business Radio, which you can find Essex Business Radio at all good app stores. Thanks, guys, for joining us this evening. And thank you, Adrian.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
to all of you. Thanks.
Big love to you all. If you do want to get on the show and you want to be a guest by these wonderful guest extraordinaires, then you can go over to our Facebook page, Essex Business Radio, tap on send message, and then tap on get on a show. And your Elliot bot will take you through, it's my brother, will take you through a few questions, and you can go through those. And if you're a good match, and we're going to get you on the show. Big love to you all. Thanks very much thanks very much for watching. And we'll see you. What day is it today? Thursday. We'll see you
Thursday.
next Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. But otherwise, for now, I'm going to say ciao for now.
Brown cow.
Cheers, guys. Thank you very much.